A House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol is planning another public hearing later this month. The panel held a series of hearings over the summer, laying out their case against former President Donald Trump and detailing his role in the deadly assault. Lawmakers are planning to release a report on its preliminary findings and recommendations in October. A final report will be released before the end of the year. CBS News election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joins me now for more on this. Bob, you're going to be interviewing Jamie Raskin later this week. He's a committee member. What are you going to ask the congressman, and what do we know about what's coming between now and the election?
We're all wondering, John, what's the message from this committee just weeks before the midterm elections? They have had many hearings so far. They've conducted hundreds of depositions, but this may be a crucial committee hearing because it comes so close to when voters decide who to elect to the House of Representatives, to state houses that will play a critical role in 2024 in terms of electors and sending them to Congress, and of course in electing the U.S. Senate. Just a few minutes ago, John, I got back from a speech by Representative Liz Cheney, the vice chair of the committee. Here in Washington, she spoke at the American Enterprise Institute, a conservative think tank, and she sounded the alarm about American democracy, talking about not only Trump's conduct on the day of the Capitol attack, but about what she believes is a persistent threat to the republic presented by Trump continuing to be on the political scene. She said Trump's talk about trouble, should he be indicted down the line, is something that she found to be credible as a threat against the whole survival of this country.
And Bob, just to get really right inside the Washington, I mean, AEI, is a certain kind of conservative in a party and in a movement that is having a very big debate about what it means to be a conservative. How was Liz Cheney received there in this speech? I mean, her father spoke, I don't know, it feels like hundreds of times at AEI. What was the mood there in terms of this message, the stark one you just laid out, and the audience from those conservative stalwarts?
John, it's the right question because in the audience today was former Vice President Dick Cheney, his spouse, the former Second Lady Lynn Cheney. You had Paul Wolfowitz, a former defense official from the Bush administration, present, applauding Congresswoman Cheney for her conduct as vice chair of the January 6th committee, for her break with the Trump wing of the Republican Party. But it should be noted that the AEI wing of the conservative movement, traditional conservatism, no longer holds commanding political capital inside the Republican Party. Just days ago, former President Trump rallying, and it was totally distant from AEI's message when it comes to issues like trade, like immigration, and especially on foreign policy. The AEI brand of conservatism shaped and forged the party in recent decades as it began to intervene abroad and support that kind of muscular foreign policy. Trump, of course, has overturned that thinking by moving towards nationalism.
Let me switch before I let you go, Bob, to the other party. In Scott Pelley's interview with the president, President Biden was careful about what he said about 2024. What did you make of that answer?
It's the answer he's been giving for a long time. My sources who are close to President Biden say he wants to run in 2024. He is likely to run in 2024. And though he acknowledges privately and at times publicly that he is getting up there in age, he believes he has command of the presidency, and he believes he has accomplished a lot and wants to run again. That all being said, because of his age, you never know what happens. And so other Democrats are keeping a respectful distance from any kind of overt decision-making when it comes to 2024. But they are continuing to build their own relationships in the party. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg going to New Hampshire in the coming days. Gavin Newsom has been battling the California governor, the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis. So they're all building, if not for 2024, for potentially for 2028. But it could get complicated in 2023 if Biden takes a long time to formally announce.
All right, Bob Costa in Washington. Thanks so much, Bob.
Thank you.